So the Oilers make another move, and they make another move with the Blackhawks. Stan Bowman just picking away at the Hawks here. Jason Dickinson and the Fort Saskatchewan, Alberta native Colton Dach. Does this, in your mind, Craig, address Edmonton's need for a third-line center?
Yeah, absolutely it does. I mean, Jason Dickinson has those elements, those attributes that you need to have that position filled and to have it strengthened. They need it strengthened. Adam Henrique's skating has fallen off a little bit, still really smart. So Adam Henrique falls back now to your fourth line. That's really good for Adam Henrique, which is really good for the Oilers. And when you think about Jason Dickinson, face-offs, penalty killing, he's a competitor, he's smart, and he's got what I call that sneaky chip-in offense. And when you add that, you're trying to improve your team. The right shot defenseman and Connor Murphy, significant. Now you get that third-line center in Jason Dickinson. Everybody thinks it's all about making it big and splashy. If you address your needs and you address your areas where you need to strengthen up, you've improved your team. Stan Bowman has done that. Don't sleep on Colton Dach either. Colton Dach is big, he's fast, he's got an edge to himself, and, you know, adding that element deeper down in your lineup, you know where he's from? Fort Saskatchewan.
Fort Saskatchewan. There you go. So he's basically going home. So
I would say so. He might have some real incentive. You know, you think about a player like that, and I think he can add a real element to that team.
Okay, so let's go further south where you hang your hat in Calgary. We know the Flames have been talking about trading some other players, but it's MacKenzie Weegar who goes on Wednesday. First of all, what do you think of the return? Because it's a pretty massive haul in the end.
So it's second-round picks, 3. Keep in mind, it's the New York Rangers' second-round pick, which is going to be high. It's the Ottawa Senators' second-round pick, which is going to be high. They don't have a first either in this draft. And then, depending on where Utah is, either in the playoffs or out of the playoffs, that's going to be another high pick.
This is remarkable. Look what Craig Conroy's done here.
Well, that's what he's done here. I mean, that's 6 picks in perhaps the top 50 picks. And then you got the third-round pick from the Canucks. That's a high pick in the third round. So you have all these picks coming through what I would call top 66 picks. 8 picks in the top 66. And, like, they've drafted well. They got a lot of good young prospects. And, again, the build, how they're proceeding. This isn't about what they're doing right now, what it means for their team right now, what they're trying to build in. Ole Mata coming back, some stability on the blue line. They're not just trying to throw their young defensemen in there. Same thing they did with Zach Whitecloud.
Yep.
Hey, listen, this is a significant move, and we know what the Utah Mammoth are doing. Hey, get MacKenzie Weegar, that's a good get for them too, with respect to they want to make the playoffs. They've gone in there and they've said, hey, listen, we're serious about winning. Bill Armstrong pulls one off that really strengthens his team.
So Calgary sort of building up to the building of their brand new building, the Scotia Place, of course. And but the Flames also have Nazem Kadri and Blake Coleman really high on our trade bait board. Do you feel like this ownership group, you know, with the trade of Weegar, they're ready now to let go of these guys and really get this rebuild going in earnest?
Well, they made the decision to do the rebuild a number of years ago. So this is now about, I don't think they were looking to trade MacKenzie, but teams phone and teams, and you listen and you hear, okay, what does this mean? What can we do? Obviously, there's this trio of players that are in the grouping. So Craig Conroy might be hearing something on one player, another, and then he goes, okay, we can do this here, we can do that there. Keep this in mind, Jay. Next year, the cap's going up to $105 million just about. You have to spend about $92 million. You don't want to be spending it on players just to give money away.
That's right.
So Kadri...
You don't want to be accepting Sergei Fedorov's expiring contract.
Well, I mean, that's where you get to. But you also don't want to have to be filling out with paying players just to come in and be mercenaries.
Sure.
You don't want to do that. So if the right deals come along, Craig Conroy will make them. But it's got to meet what their goals are. And I think that this one with MacKenzie Weegar did exactly that. We'll see what happens with Kadri and Coleman. There's no question there's teams that are interested in those guys, and they should be interested, not only in those players, but paying the price.
The Canucks moved Tyler Myers to Dallas. They get 2 draft picks in return. Now, there are 4 other Canucks on the latest trade bait list, Greg. There probably should be more. That includes Elias Pettersson. You talked earlier about the Maple Leafs and how you really felt like for Brad Treliving, now is the time to try to maximize, you know, and get as many guys out the door as you possibly can. Do you feel that way about the Canucks' current situation? They're a little bit different. They're a full-on tear-down rebuild. Does that change things for you in your mind?
Yeah, and let me just like couch that a little bit. I don't think they're full-blown tear-down. They have 5 defensemen that are really good. They're going to make up a really good quintet. That's Philip Hronek.
Yep.
They traded for Zeev Buium. They have the 2 Petterssons, and then you got Tommy Wielander. I mean, this is going to be a really good blue line. They drafted Braden Coots last year. They have some really good young players. They're going to have a high draft pick. So they got a number of draft picks.
Might
they got
have number 1 overall.
Well, they got 2 first rounds this year, some second round picks.
Yep.
So they don't have to take it down to the studs. Now, EP40, I just don't see that happening before the deadline. I think that's better off. Listen, you're Patrick Allvin, you're Jim Rutherford. You're saying we're not taking money back because they don't have to right now.
Right.
And because it's going to open up wide in the offseason. Teams are going to look at EP40. You know that there's teams that have said to Jim Rutherford and Patrick Allvin, we're interested, but we're not doing it now. $11.6 million. I think EP40 is a good player. He's not a 100-point guy anymore, but I think there's a deal to be made there. I just don't think it's now. Connor Garland's a good player. He's on a good contract. I don't know. You can start saying we're trading everybody.
Right. Jake DeBrusk seems like he could help someone.
But Jake DeBrusk, like at those dollars with that term, that might be a harder deal to make. But you got to be careful. Like Evander Kane's going. There's no question Evander Kane's going. They traded Kiefer Sherwood, a pending unrestricted free agent. I think you got to be a lot more measured with your players with contract term left. Connor Garland, EP40 we talked about. Jake DeBrusk, I mean, maybe it's not working out as well as everybody would like, but again, that's going to be an off-season move. Cap room opens up. Teams are disappointed about where they finished, if they fell short in the playoffs, and so opportunity presents itself in a much bigger way.